Mwah. Hello, everybody. Come in. Come on in. How's everybody doing? Doing. Um, I hope everybody's doing good. So, I'm gonna start with let me see. Hold on one second, you guys. I hope everybody's having a good day. The weekend. So, I mean, how good can it get, or how bad could it get? I should say. Um, Hi guys. Okay, so I am going to start with okay, so I wanted to just the reason I titled it, I was gonna say labeled it. The reason I titled it preaching or sharing or what does that even mean is because for me, I wanna I guess I just wanna explain and then you guys can play this back and then, maybe get a better understanding of it. But I the thing about preaching is I don't have I don't have that. It takes a very I mean to be labeled a man of the cloth or to have that responsibility under your wing, you're pretty much saying, I mean, let me say it like this. The Lord holds those people at a higher regard. Let's say I'm a preacher. If there's somebody saying, "Oh, the chosen one. I am a prophet. I am an evangelist. I am," and I'm putting this label on myself, then you're going to take me and the words that I'm giving in a higher regard because you're thinking that I am someone of the biblical, whether it be um, theology school or some kind of training that would give me that title. Okay. Having said that, the Lord sees who's sharing His word in a preaching standpoint in a whole different light than to people who are just sharing the word and sharing this and let me tell you about the goodness of the Lord and speaking about Him in a very uplifting way and talking about Him is totally different than me going out and saying, I am a prophet. I am, hold on a second, my dog's sliding off and I don't want to fall. Lord, please, scooch over. Oh, my God, I really got her in time for a little Borla. Sorry, you guys, she was sliding right off of her. Anyways, so and you do get more respect because people go, "Oh wow, you're an assistant pastor or you're a pastor." I was a leader in our church, and I took so much pride in it. There were people that we did leadership things with. They came to us with questions. We gave Bible studies, but we were a leader of a group. We still had to talk to somebody and report to somebody, like who handled like the church that we went to, like, okay, this is who's on the schedule and what are we doing, and I'm giving studies this weekend, and just talking to them and communicating with them, totally different than somebody getting up at the pulpit. To our pastor was very, very particular who got up to the altar or got to speak at the pulpit. We did, like, if we were going to give our testimony, if we were going to be like Joe did a few times for men's Bible study. So I'm saying all that to say what I am doing currently with my channel is sharing the goodness, sharing things that I've been through. Somebody had put in the comments that they are expecting their first grandchild, and they've had, let's say, girls. They've had all girls, and they're getting their first boy. That's what this channel is. I'm not doing anything that's going to make in any way I'm like, me personally, I don't have the right to say you can and you will or you won't. Because I had a few people send me an email like, do you think it's okay if I do this? You still have to have your walk with the Lord. The Lord is still who you seek answers from, to, and get direction from. I'm telling you about 20 years of a walk with the Lord that I personally had. So, said all that to say, those people that lead people astray, let's just tell you, I was a preacher in a church. And by my actions, I turned you off. And I just said, you are gay. You are not gonna, you are sinning. Or if I said you're not married, you are sin. If I did something that made you decide, you know what, this Christianity thing, just it's not for me. And you decided on your own based on what I had shared with you, you don't want to even know this Jesus guy. You have no desire to walk in and even know more about him. Your blood is on my hands, and the Lord would hold me responsible for that. So that's why it's very, very careful who sits and says, I'm a preacher, I'm preaching the word. And just even saying that, it's such a reverence. It's such a high regard saying you're a man of cloth. And I'm saying that because there's certain people that are using that so loosely, and they're gonna have to answer, every one of us, not just that person. Myself, if I said I am a preacher and I'm giving you the word of the Lord and take unto thee, like if I was steering you astray, your blood is on my hands. The Lord is going to hold me accountable for. And don't think like, oh well, time, we're in a hurry, we can't go through every little thing. Oh no, there will be time to go through every single thing. I don't want anybody's blood on my hands. Nobody's. I'm grateful just to tell people how good he is. And that's the thing about the Lord. We're not supposed to be scaring people into a relationship with the Lord. Your time's running out. You better move quickly. The time is going. You're not going to have time to get your orders in check. Like, no. The Lord wants us to come to him with with a hunger and desire to know him. I mean, imagine if you said that your partner, your spouse you're with, and I said, you better get to know Bill pretty soon. He's dying quickly, or you're going to be dying soon, and you're running out of time, and you're like forced into this. I better get to know him. I better start visiting him more. I feel like I'm dying soon, and I'm going to be with him forever. I better get moving on this. That's not the relationship the Lord wants with us. The Lord doesn't want a relationship with him that we're of fear and scared, and I'm dying, I better go see him, or you're dying, I better. It's about who he is, the goodness he is, the happiness and the joy and the feelings you get when you're in, just kind of singing a song and you're just kind of bopping around and you're like, wow, I'm just in a little bit better mood. I don't know what it is. And honestly, that's what it should be. Gentle, loving, the way it was when you fell in love with your partner for the first time. That happiness. Hi, Aunt Kathy. Welcome in, sweetheart. That's what this relationship truly should be about. The Bible goes on to many things that we should desire. We should desire to be one with him. We should be desiring to get closer to him. It's like if you never visited your boyfriend and your now husband, how would you guys say you were in a relationship? I mean, you haven't seen him in like 4 years, but I mean, we're still together. I just don't visit him. I mean, at some point, talking to him, you call him. That's all the Lord wants, just for us to talk to him. Talk to him while we're driving to work. Talk to him while we're, it's peace and love. Yes, yes. And that's the beauty of it, is the peace, what's the word? That let me say it like this. Some people has their world falling apart. And they seek the Lord out of that, simply just needing a place to nestle and feel safe. Some people, the world is chaotic and crazy, and they have only one thing that they know is that when I go to this spot, I feel this sense of peace. That's it. Don't yes, it's you're opening a door for a relationship that you will have, and everybody gets something different out of it. I may be excited because I'm finally my heart is excited and I haven't felt this excitement in so long. Somebody else may say, "Oh my gosh, my just being able to have peace in my mind and my heart, it feels so good." Yes, it says it's peace and love. It's trust. Walk by 6 and never fail you. Yes, walk by, and that's just it. Okay, I want to thank you, Kathy, because the reason I want to share this story with you guys, and I don't mean obviously I haven't always been in the church. When I first met Joe, Joe and I were not in the church at all. My kids did go to a private or a Catholic school, I should say, not a private school, Catholic school. And it was private, but I was given a scholarship because I was baptized, first communion, confirmation, all that there. So then I was also a teacher there. Well, then when I had kids and me and my ex-husband got separated, they didn't, they were just gave me a grandfathered scholarship for both my kids to go. I mean, we paid like $300, but $300 is nothing for two kids in a Catholic school. Okay, but I mean, I also had to do other things. I had to clean the church, or I had to do classes for catechism for the junior high, getting them prepared for their first confirmation. Okay, so anyways, it was a yes, it is faith led. Aunt Kathy, you're right. It is based on faith. So what happened with me and Joe is he had said, "Hey, do you think you really need to spend that money?" Because he wasn't even anywhere in the realm of wanting to spend money on a church, doing any kind of tithes, nothing. Joe literally was like, church is not even on my realm of what I want to spend my Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday with. And that's okay because I didn't want him there with that. I want him there on his time. The Lord wants him there on his time. Okay. I said, well, you know what? I really like the school, and they've been going there for, the last 4 years. My son was in third grade at the time. And he said, well, can we venture out and look at some other schools? And I said, well, yeah, we can. I mean, by now we're in our 6th month, maybe 7th month, and we were starting to move in together. So I said, well, we're both going to be taking care of the bills. And that's just how, when we moved in together, we decided to do it. I looked into this, the regular public school, and it was very much, just very, very, I don't know, they were very much met all my needs. I didn't get anything more at the Catholic school than I was seeing or hearing and talking to. I felt everything, all the bells and whistles for me were there at that public school. There was no need for me to do the private school because I wanted them to learn. They have a tree because Jesus has put the tree. I want them to learn that it's a blessing. We had another day, not like I'm guaranteed a day. Every day is a guarantee. I wanted them to learn about the Lord, not just at home, but also in school. And I felt like sending them to the private school there at the Catholic school was what I needed or what they were meeting it. After I went to met with the school, I met with the teachers, and I decided we were going to pull them out of the private school and we were going to enroll them in a public school. Like I said, it meant everything for us. And I'm very glad I did so. Very, very, very glad I did so. They made great friends. We saved a lot of money. We didn't have to do that if we didn't have to do that. So our kids started going to the public school and they enjoyed it. And me and Joe started just kind of going to church on Sundays for, we said, okay, well, as long as we keep going to church, we don't have to worry about going to The kid's going over there. Okay. Fast forward, we're now dating about 2 years, living together, and we still are doing our regular lifetime things and, going out, having, let me say this. When you're dating somebody who has a little bit more money than a single parent has money, you just are able to do a little bit more going out for drinks, and then we'd go out for dinner, which in my realm of being a single parent, that wasn't even something. I don't even know how to describe it. It's not something that you do. You're just kind of like, you go out with your girlfriends, or you go out with your somebody, or you go out and you just go out for dinner. But he's like, oh, let's go have some drinks and then we'll grab dinner later. And it's like, oh yeah, yeah, I mean, whatever, that's cool. Um, but it was just a different feeling. So, here we're drinking a little bit more and having the money to sustain a little more drinking. And then you're just drinking, like, martinis are pretty much liquor, and or even white Russians, or just a lot more. Like, when you're shorter on income, it literally tells you I can only have a beer and dinner. I don't know if you know that feeling, but trust me, that's some people's regular life is, if I buy this $7 meal, I can have a beer because it's 250, and that's my $10. Or if I have this wet burrito for $12, I can have a margarita that's $4. That's just reality for some people. And then when I started dating Joe, it was like, we're going out for dinner and drinks, and I think it was like $90, and we had just had 3 drinks, well, 3 rounds for 2 people. So I said all that to say we drank very much, drank very frequently, and very, very, very much. Hold on 1 second. I was a single mom for years. I worked 3 jobs when I met my husband. Yeah, I had to. We were in the 2 bedroom, and it was the 3 of us, me and my son and my daughter, and they shared a room, whether there was a boy and a girl. I know some people were like, when we rented the apartment, they were like, oh, we don't allow mixed genders in the same room. And I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like, what do you say? I just said, oh, I'm okay. So we had to find a apartment that was in our means. And so then again, our drinking was pretty much like very, very comfortable, and um, we didn't have to lessen it because we didn't have enough money, because there was plenty of money. So then, one night we had some people that were going to go with us, and we had decided that this was going to be our that designated driver. We go over there. They end up in a disagreement, so then they leave. So then me and my husband are there. We didn't know that they had left, but by now we're about maybe 5 top shelf margaritas each, and maybe about 6 beers in. So we had a lot, and we're just like, I can't. What happened? And then I go, oh yeah, I think they left a couple hours ago. That somebody said something about leaving, that they had gotten into an argument. So then we're like, how are we getting home? Well, that guy had given the keys because he drove. Long story short, he gave the keys to my husband. My husband somehow was supposed to find a driver for us because they took an Uber home. Okay. He goes to the car. I run into an old acquaintance, and I had forgotten that he had gone to the car. He comes back in and he sees me talking to a friend of mine that I've gone to high school with. And he's kind of like, oh, wow, like, you're talking, kind of shocked that I was just still in here drinking and talking to somebody. So then I realized, oh yeah, you were outside. But I mean, it was obviously, I didn't remember he had gone. So then he comes over and he's like, we got to get going. And he, like, it felt like I was embarrassed because he had said, hey, we got to go right now. So he goes to the car, and I'm kind of like, I'll go when I'm ready to go. So he goes to the car, and then I lose track of him because I was going to wait 5 more minutes because I didn't want to look like he told me, let's get going. And I walk outside, and he's up by now, apparently in the car. And I'm like, oh my gosh, which, it sounds crazy. Sounds crazy. I couldn't remember which direction our car was in. And all I could see was like sidewalk, both directions. And I went over to a park bench or whatever, because apparently there was a little bench there. And I sat on the bench, and I personally thought I was sitting there for just a couple seconds, because surely he would come back and see again what took me so long. I thought he'd come back again to see what was taking me so long. So I sat on the park bench. Joe went to the car, and waiting for me, he fell asleep. I fell asleep on the bench. I woke up about 6:30 in the morning, and somebody woke me up and said, "Ma'am," something like, "Are you okay?" And the reason I share this story is because I give all of that safety, I give all of that to the Lord, because He watched over me. He sat there next to me on that bench, and He didn't let nothing happen to me. My purse was right next to me. He kept me safe. He had an older gentleman. They were out doing like their morning walks. This gentleman woke me up. And by then I was like, oh my gosh, like, oh, like freaked out, because I couldn't believe, like, it was birds chirping, and what time is it? And then by then I realized where the car was. I was literally three cars away, but I didn't see it because it was pitch black. I walked over to the car, and we both were like, it was the biggest eye opener. Not only about like what just happened, but how something could have happened. First of all, if I would have gotten in the car, he would have driven home, and who knows if we would have gotten home safely, or what damage would have caused, or that for me sitting out there. But now, from that moment on, my husband never leaves my side. Well, I also don't drink. I quit drinking, like, I don't know, I don't know, maybe 15. Well, I've been in the church for 20 years. So about 18 or 20 years ago, I quit drinking. Um, but it was just the biggest, for me, when anybody asks me about the Lord and why and who and what do you don't know, it's all the big boom theory. Let me just tell you, I believe because I lived it. I sat there in safety. And let me just say, this world is not a great place to fall asleep on a bench with your purse, not get mugged, murdered, raped, nothing. I was safe. And I'm not gonna, I refuse to give it to anybody but the Lord. And my husband too. We both literally busted into tears at the reality of what could have happened, and how close it came to. There was nothing to stop it from happening. So for us, it was a big eye opener. Not only about the leaving. I'll get in the car. No, we both wait. I think we only drank another 3 or 4 months after that, because then I quit. So we had started going to church already. It just wasn't. You people do it all the time. I mean, I'm still. If you just choose to do what you do, you don't have to stop drinking. I know great people that are in the church, and I know great people that are out of the church. I went to church at a time or a different place that was like, oh, if you don't wear skirts, and if you don't do this, and you drink, and if you do this, you're not a good person. And let me just tell you, I had the biggest eye opener when I had my own walk, regardless of the pastor. I had my own walk with the Lord, and the Lord reminded me that I'm His daughter. And we took out the middleman, who is the pastor, and he reminded me that I am His child. And what my works are unto the kingdom, not anything to do. I mean, I was doing Bible studies and being a leader for a church, but the only difference is now I work and I reach souls for the kingdom because I want to see people know him. That's the only reason. Is if you're sitting there hungry or your bills aren't being paid or if you're lonely or you're scared. I've gone through losses with my brother, my dad. I've been through heartache missing my daughter, and the one thing that has kept me and sustained me was one person, the Lord. That's it. That's the only thing I can tell you. Is there may be people out there that are lonely, scared, hungry, and if I keep all this to myself, if I kept my testimonies to myself, how would anybody ever know him? How would I would say Joe's very private, but I mean everybody can use somebody sometime. Just because you're not outgoing or just because you're to yourself and quiet or just because you don't whatever, just because you like staying home versus going out and meeting people. Everybody has their own needs and wants. And if you're sitting there like, man, if I would have known that there was somebody I could call on, that's all I have to do is call on him and he will be right there. Yeah, that's it. I'm not saying I wish I would have known, but when I was going through the loss of my dad and my brother, I didn't know or didn't have a close walk with the Lord. I knew who he was, but I didn't have a close walk with the Lord. I, what's the word? Um, I had an acquaintance. I guess that's a good way of saying it. You know, you went to school with somebody and you're like, I know that person. I know that person in school. Like, I never really hung out with them, but I just know them. They went to the same school I did. That's how it was with me and the Lord. And then 20 years ago, I met him and I walked very slowly because I figured, I mean, I already know you. I don't need to know you more. But then I realized when you know, and when you felt what I felt, it was nothing I had ever felt in my whole life. And it brought me to tears. My son and my daughter were both went to church every Wednesday and every Sunday. My son and my daughter, we've all spoken in tongues. Watching my son and daughter down on their knees speaking in tongues is the most as a mother to see your son and your daughter just having a embraced relationship. And honestly, you guys, I met Joe and we were both, like I said, drinkers. And we literally had to get to know each other in a sober light. He wasn't as funny as he was when I first met him. When I first met him, he was a hoot. I was cracking up every other day. Every hour on the hour, I was rolling over. I mean, I was laughing all the time. Um, and when I stopped drinking, he was still drinking. He stopped drinking like after maybe about 4 years, maybe three. I stopped drinking like after 2 years. Joe kept drinking, and it was just like I said, you guys, you have to do your own thing. You can't make your partner get up and go on Sundays. You can't make them do anything because it has to come from them because it's their walk. And there was even a time that Joe didn't want nothing to do with the church at all. And I was like, okay. I got up still on Sunday mornings, got my son and my daughter. We're going to church. We sat in the same row. I scooted one seat over and I put my Bible that I took every week. I put it right on his chair because I claimed it. I claimed that he was going to be back in that seat, that the enemy was not going to have that soul on his trophy cabinet, that man that belonged in that seat belonged to the Lord. And he was just, and just give him his time. And it took about, like I've talked to you guys before about when me and Joe had run into some problems. And it wasn't that he went to the church that we had run into problems. It was just our marriage had gotten to a part that we had marital problems. And to be honest with you, it was just, I'm great. I won't say I'm grateful that we had problems, but we did. Our marriage, we're 18 and 19 years later. It's just you know your marriage. You know that what we almost lost, that's what we see now. We almost didn't have what we have right now. We almost threw this away. If we would have given in back then, we wouldn't be sitting here going on 21 years, and that's scary for us. It's not easy. You make a decision to throw. We threw in our ring we threw in our towel to make how does it say? We threw how does that saying go, babe? We threw our rings in the ring, or I don't remember. It's something like we threw something about we are not giving up. What? Did you see it? Does it look good? I made homemade peach cobbler, and Joe just saw it. I know it looks really good. I had to redeem myself from the one I made the other day. It was so horrific. It was different. God, babe.
It was great.
Did you just say it was different? Oh, it was different. I tried to do things without measuring, and it didn't work out so well. So anyways, we did go through our marital problems. We went through everything back in that time, but it also gave us a made-up mind. So many memories we've made since 2008, 2000. There's so much, and here we are in 2025, halfway gone. Our anniversary is at the end of this month. I always forget it. Always. He's the only one that remembers it. Don't ask me why. I think it's the I don't even know. It's August 30th or August 29th. It's one of those, you guys. Anyways, but that's the crux of what I wanted to share with you guys is the reason that I have so much faith, and that's what Kathy was saying, is because today, 20 years later, I saw what he did for me back then. And if he did it back then, and I barely knew him, and he loved me. He loved me when I was a whole mess, a whole drunken mess, sitting on the side on the park bench, passed out. He loved me, and he sat down right next to me and got me home safely. And for me, I can't say enough good things about him other than I am not worthy to stand in his presence, but I do get to. I get to stand in his presence. I get to sit and talk to him. And about, how many years? Like 2010, maybe about 15 years ago, we used to have our own company, and we started a shirt business. And I want to show you guys what it was back then. And it just, from then, we did it while we were at the church. But I had a vision. It was Joe and Yvonne. So that was the name of our plan. God had a plan for you. Yes, he did, Aunt Kathy. He sure did. Our logo was Jay, Joe and Yvonne. And the Lord dealt with me and he said, Missy, it has nothing to do with you. And I said, pardon moi. He says, this is about them and me. And I said, what do you mean? And he says, it's a relationship with Jesus and me, like Jesus, and that's their walk. I wasn't a part of, I was trying to, not say I was trying to get credit, but I figured since it was mine and Joe's name. So this is the one of our first shirts, and it says Jesus and you. And Joe did all that by hand. We didn't get a font from online. My husband drew each line that's on that YOU, and he used I don't know, a ruler, I guess. What did you use, Joe?
Yeah, straight edge.
A straight edge?
Yeah, straight edge. Protractors.
This was one of our first shirts also.
Oh, you found some.
I did in my phone. It's the crown of thorns. And then the word says, I am saved. And those are the 3 nails that were in, that was our logo, actually, the 3 nails. It was 3 nails and JAY. But we did the I am in the front and saved in the back. I was going through my transferring some of this stuff, and I ran into all my pictures, and I wanted to share. This one was my favorite, though. I like it's like a granite with the black t-shirt. Oh, don't bring it now. You're going to throw my whole computer off.
Shouldn't.
What do you mean? You airdropped it.
Yeah, shouldn't. Should be separate. Should be able to handle that, I think.
Do you see all that in front?
No.
Yeah, this is my studio back here.
Oh, okay.
Let me get out of that.
Oh, should I send it to you in a message?
Just put it in our photos. I get our photos in the iCloud.
Okay.
Let's see. What was it? I forgot what you want to show you. This is the back of that one. See, it looks a little bit better with the silver and the black. See the saved? It's got the crown on the back. Can you send it to my phone?
Well, yeah, I'll send it to your.
Yeah, and then I'll just move it. But this is what we did many, about 15 or 18 years ago. We had, it's how long we've been with the church and just us been sharing the word of the Lord and trying to share his goodness. This is one of my favorites. And we prayed over every shirt that we made, the vision, the color, everything we were going to do with it. My grandma would love that. Aw, I love that, Aunt Kathy.
Get it?
Yeah, hold on a second. Where's the other one? I think that's it, but there's this one, The Higher Desire. This one was one of Joe's favorites. The Higher Desire, the 3 crosses on the hill. I'm proud of that, babe. It looks... Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out. And the last one. Do you have the one with the thorn, the nails up close?
Yeah.
All right, let me send it to...
I couldn't send it to the.
Yeah, I don't like that one. I like this one.
I couldn't send it to the computer at all. It just takes over.
Yeah, it throws all the files up on top of it because it comes in as a download versus a photo.
I think you can download it and then it'll go right back to you, though. I think.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to check it out. See if it does that.
Videos. Let's see. Which one did I not show? I think that was it, right? The Higher Desire. So now let me find that one. Let me see if I can find it. Media, maybe?
I don't know.
All right. Let me just share
Not
it.
sure.
I can share it here. If I go like this to it,
Yeah.
and then I'll go, and it'll say MacBook.
Yeah, this I thought I did.
Did that again.
Huh.
Where would it go? I wonder. The download?
I don't know.
Downloads.
Probably the last two. Maybe.
Not the,
Oh, there it is. There it is. There you go.
That was the symbol, our logo, the Jesus and you with the nails. You're welcome, Aunt Kathy. It's Joe. I don't do any of this. Joe, and and this is somebody who's very, 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 very private. And we were dealing with, we even prayed about which printing place we were going to use. And we went in there, and I want you to tell the story. There's a lady was telling us about her son who had some kind of sickness, and my husband was very, very upset. Who was just you guys, you don't see it that much, but he is very, very private. Joe went. We were talking to the lady and talking about the price. We got it squared away. They were going to have the shirts ready. Well, the day we went to pick it up, she said that it took her an extra long because she wasn't able to come in. She had some stuff going on at home. Her son was sick. My husband literally got next to the lady and he said, "Do you mind if I pray for you?" He put his hand on her, like right by her elbow, and he just like laid hands, and just through through interceding prayer, like through her, Joe was going to pray for her son. So it was just a really, for me, let me just tell you, any of you single women, when you are looking for a man, leave it to the Lord. Pray for a good, godly man and leave it to the Lord. Because for me, all day long, I think I'll take a man who is a God-fearing man any day of the week just to see him. And I was like, honestly, it shocked me because my husband is not that personality, or I don't even know how to say it. My husband is not that character at all. And then he like, "Oh, do you mind if I pray for you?" And I was like, "Oh my God, Joe, like wow." And then she goes, "No, I would love you, thank you." And then Joe just barely touched her arm, and he was just praying for her son for a healing it was just amazing, like a whole prayer. And it was just on the spot versus kind of like, "Babe, I felt led to," or "What do you think?" Like just kind of asking me when we got in the car, like, "Hey, when we go back, I want to see if she wants us to pray for her." Joe just was led to do it right on the spot, and he just did it. And I just want to tell you guys, that is attractive. If you know, you know. And for a woman of faith to see her husband with just such strength and confidence pray for her son, and she felt overwhelmed, grateful, and just thanked us. And it's just really, I wanted to really, really just get across. Be cautious when someone tells you they're a man of God, because they truly are taking on a very large responsibility when they say that they're a man of God and they're chosen and they're preaching the word or they're doing anything in reverence to the word, the Lord, the Bible, anything of that. It's a reverence. Like it's literally the most highest regard is to be able to minister but preach and to give a testimony, like any part of that. I'm only giving you guys good feel good testimony stories. I'm not preaching. I'm not giving any kind of lessons. I'm simply giving you guys, in case you didn't know, stories. There's a man, his name is Jesus, and he rocks because he looks out for his children in a mighty way. In a mighty way, he blesses us with our finances, with our home, with our daily marriage, my son daily, my daughter daily. I just can't give enough glory to someone who who knows where I would be if I hadn't known him and wanted to get to know him more. So, with that being said, you and Joe remind me of my husband. Aw, Aunt Kathy, yes, the power of prayer. I truly believe that. There, and I don't know how to move this. I appreciate everybody coming in tonight. And I'm sorry, it was more like I wanted to just give you guys um, oh, and thank you for, I think it's KK Log. She put in one of the comments, she said that she's expecting a baby, and that is great news. And I just want to tell her thank you for sharing with us. I absolutely love that you guys come here to share like good news like that. You know what I mean? Like there's some people that I just love that they want to share some of their good news with us. So let's see, I want to say the name properly. It's KKLOLO, and she said we had our first baby, we had our first boy 4 months ago after three girls. Yay! That's a celebration, and I love that you guys want to share those with me. Jesus will hold you down when you can't. Yes, yes, Aunt Kathy. I mean, there's so many times when we couldn't stand on our own. I mean, me personally. I mean, one time my son made a bad decision, but he went to a party with a friend. His friend and him got into an argument. My son took off walking, and like 5 in the morning, we get a knock, and his buddy came over and said, "Hey, our son? His name is Drew here?" And we said, "No, he went to the party with you. Didn't he? Didn't you guys go over there?" And he goes, "No, he took off. He got upset. He took off walking." And I was like, "Well, what time was that?" And he said it was at midnight. And I said, "Well, has anybody seen him?" Nope, nobody's seen him. We live in Michigan, and winters over here, they're like, I mean, for us, we stay home when it's like 20 degrees or 5 below. No, apparently they still had to go to this party, and nobody could find him. We called about 20 people, nobody had seen him. And we went out looking for him for about an hour, and then finally my husband's like, we're gonna have to go to the police and make him missing persons, because if nobody has seen him, he could have walked and slipped and fell. And more people looking for him is better than just me and you looking for him. And just, I can't even tell you guys, that sustained me. That right there, Aunt Kathy, if the Lord didn't have me when I went in there, I couldn't even, I mean, when they're asking you his height, his hair color, what was he last wearing, just giving all those descriptions. I mean, it was my stomach. I was sick to my stomach. I was sick to my stomach. I was beside myself, and I saw it already. I mean, yeah, I do watch a lot of true crime stuff, but I had already seen it in my head, the outcome. Like, and that's not a good thing. I'm just saying that I knew that he had left a party. He had been drinking easily, very easy to do, to slip and fall outside. just when you're in a regular walking, I mean, we have ice and streets are covered with ice and stairs are covered with ice. Parking lots are covered with ice. And then if you tried walking on the side of the road and somebody hit them, it was white out. It was a very bad storm that night. And that's why we were like, are you really going out? Like the weather's really bad. And long story short, he like walks in the door about 4 that afternoon, and I wanted to strangle him, and it was the most horrific feeling ever. But I mean, honestly, like I said, if it wasn't for the Lord that sustained me, would not have been able to get through it. I was very much a basket case. Have a wonderful night. Have a blessed Saturday, you guys. I appreciate everybody coming in. It means a lot. The day my daughter died, my legs could not walk out of the hospital. The Lord lifted me up and carried me out. Oh, and Kathy, that's, that's, I can only imagine. I couldn't imagine. I truly couldn't imagine what you went through when you felt that. I truly couldn't. But the reason I said I can only imagine is because when you said the Lord lifted me up, because when I left my abusive husband, I literally told the Lord those words: Lord, I cannot leave. If I'm going to leave, you'll have to carry me out of here because I will never leave him. Because I don't know. I don't know. And I literally said those words: if you if I'm going to leave, you're going to have to carry me out of here because I will not. And by the grace of God, Aunt Kathy, I don't know how I did it, but I walked out. I ran out. But I mean, I don't know. That's the only thing that happened is that I was carried out. What a blessing. And Kathy, I'm sending prayers for you. I'm sending prayers for you. Just know that you are so appreciated, so loved, and I appreciate meeting you here and getting to know more about you. I will keep you in prayers. Thank you guys so much for everything. Have a blessed night.
See y'all.